Hyundai has just taken the cover off the IONIQ 5 fully electric vehicle. Today we'll discuss everything we know, speculate on the things we still don't quite know yet, and bust out the spreadsheet to see how the IONIQ 5 stacks up against the competition. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirk. I cover Japanese and Korean autos, so if you're into that, subscribe, smash the like button. Let's get on over to Hyundai's Media Center. So the first thing we're going to do is fly through the pictures and decide what we think of this thing. Well, I'll just share what I think of it. It looks really similar to the 45 concept, which was kind of a hearkening or a throwback to the original Hyundai vehicle, which was the Pony. Rear wheel drive, kind of a hatchback 5-door looking thing. This almost looks a little like a Audi e-tron in some ways because the lines, they added all these lines to the production model here that I don't really like. I still like the digitalized rear lights as well as the front lights. We'll go into the interior in a little bit, but I do think the concept looks a little bit sharper. And yeah, concepts usually do. But overall, it has stayed true to the concept for the most part. The body lines are pretty similar. The hood is definitely raised on this. My guess would be maybe to give it some more space for the frunk. The windows are definitely bigger than the concept. The wheels are pretty similar. I would say overall, the design's pretty similar. Of course, we now have side mirrors and handles on the vehicle where the concept did not. Now the interior, this is where I get the most excited about, at least on this car, because it looks awesome. Hyundai's interiors lately, if you guys saw my latest Elantra review, really impressive interior. And it looks like they're on the same roll here, if not even more attention to detail here on this new electric vehicle. So they have added ottomans to the chairs in the front seat because they know you're going to be charging and waiting places for fast charging. So they wanted to make it as comfortable as a lounge-like experience as possible. This island in the middle, let's see if I can get a better picture. Yeah, a little bit. This island in the middle is adjustable. So you can scoot it forward, you can scoot it back into the back row. We have dual 12-inch screens here. That's kind of par for course with Hyundai's right now. Look, the Elantra that I just reviewed for about 25 grand, something like that, had dual digital screens. So that's kind of par for course for them at this point in time. I want to see if these are buttons or touch feedback. Let's see if I can zoom in. It looks like, guys, that these are going to be touch sensitive, so not real buttons. We have real buttons for this screen, but in terms of the climate control, it looks like it's all touch sensitive, which is not my favorite thing in the world. But at least they give us a volume knob. Praise the Korean gods for the volume knob. We do have a flat bottom steering wheel. We have paddle shifters, which has to be for the braking intensity or the one pedal driving. Looks like we have some memory seats over here. Bose speaker. You have an 8 speaker Bose setup in this vehicle with a subwoofer as well. Very minimalistic. Looks pretty good overall in the interior. Now this, good. I'm glad they showed this picture because this has a solar roof option. And it looks like it, unfortunately, if you get the solar roof, there's no way you can get the panoramic sunroof. So I don't know about you guys. I'd probably just take the panoramic sunroof. I like the extra light coming into the cabin. And let's be real, this panoramic sunroof is not going to be able to charge the car. Like, we're not that far with solar gathering energy possibilities yet, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do like the spoiler there. So onto the specs, 3,000 millimeter wheelbase. That's a really long wheelbase for a smaller vehicle. That is roughly 118 inches, and the Hyundai Palisade is 114 inches. So it has a wider wheelbase than Hyundai's largest vehicle. Cargo capacity is definitely important. 531 liters shakes out to be 18.7 cubic feet. And then when you fold down all the seats, well, I should say the second row of seats, about 1,600 liters, which is about 56 cubic feet of space. Now the frunk is pretty tiny. So 24 liters, that's the only frunk size we're going to get here in North America. That is 0.85 cubic feet. That's probably good enough for like a purse, or, you know, I'm sure you guys have a man bag as well somewhere. This is, of course, on the eGMP platform. Hyundai, Genesis, Kia, they're all going to be sharing the same platform. Fully electric skateboard platform, rear-wheel drive based with all-wheel drive capability. Here's all the motor and acceleration and battery specs. We'll get to the spreadsheet before we get into the nitty-gritty of that. I think the last thing I wanted to cover would be the fast charging. 10% to 80% in 18 minutes of charge, 100 kilometers of WLTP range in about 5 minutes of charge. I did a little bit of converting to the EPA miles, since Americans do weird things here with their measurements. So that would be roughly 55 miles on the EPA range in 5 minutes. Again, not official, just my rough calculation based off of EPA to WLTP conversions as well as kilometers to miles. One of the cool things, other than the solar roof, would be the augmented reality heads-up display. We haven't seen it yet. I don't know how it's going to be implemented, but apparently it can take up like essentially the entire size of the windshield. And yeah, that sounds a little distracting to me. What about you guys? Would you be into an augmented reality taking over your windshield? It's cool, a little bit scary, and I think it's spreadsheet time, guys. So grab your snacks and drinks. Let's get on over. Here are the motor capacities that are going to be in this vehicle. And if you need to reference this, because I don't go into the kilowatts or the Newton meters a whole lot into this video, but it is labeled right here. So let's scroll on down to IONIQ 5 and 6. They're going to be sharing the eGMP platform, and I do expect them to share battery sizes and motors as well. So here it is. If you want the rear-wheel drive model, that's 167 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Roughly 258 miles. It's not official, that's just my estimations. That is on the smaller battery pack, the 58 kilowatt hour battery. I'm guessing around 40K. We don't have pricing yet, so take that with a grain of salt. We do have 0 to 60 numbers, technically 0 to 62, but I shaved off a tenth of a second or two to get these 0 to 60 numbers. Now take all these ranges with a grain of salt. Of course, with the all-wheel drive models, they're not going to get as good range as the rear-wheel drive models. And the ranges here are probably best case scenario. I think I've been overly forgiving for the amount of miles to expect here. It's probably closer to around 300 miles in real-world usage. But yeah, just take the ranges with a grain of salt, because we don't know how it's all going to shake out to EPA. America's getting a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. The rest of the world is getting a 72.6 kilowatt hour battery. So why the difference? Well, last 2 weeks ago at this point in time, battery supplier for the IONIQ 5, which is SK Innovations, was just banned here in America by the International Trade Committee because SK Innovations stole trade secrets from LG Chem. So it's possible that this 77.4 kilowatt hour battery in the IONIQ 5 could be an LG Chem battery, because SK Innovations is dead in the water for 10 years in America. And there are some exceptions to that 10-year ban with the Ford F-150 electric and the Volkswagen ID4. So that's why I think it's a little bit different in size. Not necessarily because Americans need more range. I mean, more range is better in theory, right? But I think it's because it's a different battery pack, a different supplier. That's just my guess. I don't know if that's right or not. But the maximum spec, if you want all-wheel drive and the large battery, again, 300 miles is best case scenario probably for this situation, but 446 pound-feet of torque and 302 horsepower. I'm guessing 50K for this car. I don't know. They could charge more, they could charge less. So I just zoomed out so you can see maybe some comparisons against the Mach-E, the Volkswagen ID4, the Nissan Ariya, of course the Tesla Model Y, and here the upcoming IONIQ 5. It really all comes down to price. It needs to be competitive, so I think the prices I have should be pretty close, within a few $1,000s or so. So if not, if they're a little high, no one's gonna buy it. If it's a little low on the price, then this could be the EV that we've been waiting for, or at least a lot of us been waiting for, to be more affordable. We need EVs to be more affordable. We need the charging to be faster. This IONIQ 5 definitely will have the charger fasting with 800 volt system. But guys, we still don't have all the information here, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see me cover the IONIQ 5 in the future. And guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Hyundai's coming on strong with EVs. It'll be very interesting to see how all the battery supplying issues get worked out with SK Innovations. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out.